About a month ago, I was asked to do a public service announcement regarding something that's very important that's going on right now. And I was trying to consider what would the best timing of this be, as well as the message. But, you know, the future of the future is the present, and the present is right this moment when you're seeing this. So this is a present for you because it is good news. It's very good news, but it's going to require a lot of public support for the public, not only in the United States, but all over the world to get behind. So I'll do my best to encapsulate in a short amount of time what is currently underway. In 1989, there was two scientists by the name of Stanley Pons and Bob Fleischman who made an announcement at the University of Utah regarding the new form of discovered energy. That was fusion at room temperature using water and a triggering mechanism to make cold fusion. A lot of you have heard of that, but a lot of you have not kept up with what's really going on with that. It's been over 30 years since that was first developed and announced, and we are in a completely new position right now because of the developments that have been going on behind the scenes by many different companies all over the world. Now, one of the most important things to remember and look up for yourself, because this will do nothing for you if you do not research this yourself. So my first suggestion would be, if you go into YouTube and go to Cold Fusion 60 Minutes and watch that news program. Still today, this day, this is the go-to piece for most people that are unaware of this particular energy source in this news announcement that took place many years ago when they made that. It was well over 10 years ago. Also, I would suggest that you go to coldfusionnow.org, and then you can research the subject that I'm talking about. This has been all over the news as of late in radio, and you're going to see in the next couple of months major news articles coming out regarding this, and it's going to be one of the most important discussions in the world because of the effects of what this is going to do. A lot of people say, well, why, James, are you involved with this? Well, I've been involved with it since the very beginning, but in a completely, totally different form. I was involved discussing the actual effects of what this would do prior to the actual deployment of it and the development of it. Because when you have this type of technology available, it changes the actual relationship between everybody, each other, other countries. Everything would change within culture regarding this, but it would also do the most important thing. The most important thing for humanity right now is to reframe and reset its relationship with the planet. There is a component to this particular thing. It's not just technology, ones and zeros, money, greed, monopolies, the military, weaponization, and all those things. Those indeed are things on the table, but there's one thing on the table that's the most important thing of all. This is the first time in history where technology like this has had a spiritual component to it by the presence of the real Americans in the United States. That is the Lakota Sioux tribe that was first on the spot to make public support of this technology many, many years ago. This came through the American Indian, who most of you may have heard of by the name of Russell Means. He was a famous actor and one of the important people that started up the American Indian movement. This month is the 50th anniversary of Wounded Knee. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Russell Means, that's what made him famous initially. Other people remember him from Last of the Mohicans and all of the speeches he did and whatnot, fighting for freedom and civil rights for not only his people, but for the entire world. But what people do not know and they don't realize is prior to his death, he asked me that and requested that I bring this technology to the Lakota Sioux Indians. So the Lakota Sioux Indians did their own research following in his footsteps and realized that this is probably one of the most important discoveries ever in the history of history because of the energy source. It comes from water. The energy source, hydrogen in the water, and our relationship to water, because we're a water planet and most of our bodies are made of water. So this is a completely, totally new fusion and marriage between our spiritual selves and technology, a first of its kind. Now, what you're going to see in the next couple of months is an American Indian presence regarding the subject matter. That has happened, but most of the time it's been covered up and a lot of people don't realize that at all. However, there is video footage of America's most famous American Indian right now, who's the name Phyllis Young. Phyllis Young is the secretary of Russell Means and took over all of his work upon his passing. She made a speech in Washington, D.C. a long time ago in front of congressional people and scientists, which frankly probably was one of the most important speeches ever regarding the relationship between technology, humanity, and our future. So this is a great moment we're at right now. However, we need the entire world, including the public, that includes every one of you that sees this, to stand behind this, do your own research, and start talking about it with your elected employees who work for you. Because they are not going to do anything. It's going to be up to you to see this thing through. So, one of the things that I was asked to do in putting this message together was to give you enough information so that you could research it yourself and go out and do the necessary discussions with your family, your friends, and your local and city government people to demand this. Because as you know, we are in an energy crisis, a manufactured energy crisis, of course, but it doesn't mean that there are not solutions that make sense that we could put all of us together and move everything forward. So in the context of this video, you'll see various additions to it to help you understand what it is I'm actually exactly talking about, because this has been and shall continue to be the ongoing saga of the human race, is how we use energy and ultimately how that energy is distributed and by whom and in what form. It's very important now because we're at the crossroads of a very important position for the entire human race. So remember what I've said. The point of power is in the present, and the future of the future is in the present, which is now. So make this a priority. Talk about it amongst your friends. Go to coldfusionnow.org. Review all there is about this technology and be on the lookout for news articles and TV spots and all of the stuff beginning what took place many years ago and was referred to today as the energy conversation, because it's a conversation that should have been taking place in public by all sorts of people a long time ago. That has finally begun, because it's begun merely out of the position that we're in as a country and also as a planet. So I want to thank you for taking the time to take a look at this, and hopefully you will get something out of it and refer to some of the articles and attachments that you may see here, as well as learning a little bit more and getting yourself behind this entire thing. Thank you very much.